It's season 5, episode 15 of the Scandalous Scandal recap. Actually, no, this is our season 4, but it's the season 5 of Real Scandal. Welcome to the Scandal recap. I'm Larry Brown Jr., joined with my friend Janiyah Wright. Janiyah, good evening. How are you?
I am doing so well, LBJ. Tonight's episode really gave us a lot to think about. I cannot wait to dig in.
Well, let's go ahead and dig in. And, if you're watching us, but before we dig in, if you're watching us live, thank you so much for tuning in and watching live. Tweet the link to the YouTube video or the Google Plus page. Tell somebody about the Scandal after our live broadcast, which a lot of you do. Leave a comment on the YouTube page, tweet us, email us. Some of you even got our Gmail addresses and you start G-chatting us. That's fine too. However you can engage with us, you can engage, and we appreciate you and we love you for it. Janiyah, let's just cut through the hay and talk horses. How about that?
Let's do it. And
did you peep where I got that from though?
I was just going to say, for the rest of the evening, don't just make stuff up, because that was horrible. Is that from something?
Janiyah, that happened tonight with Lovers of Liberty, with Sally Langston talking to Susan.
I missed that.
He said, welcome to the soon-to-be Republican presidential candidate, Susan Ross. Thank you so much, Sally. I'm so glad to be on your show today. Oh, let's just cut through the hay and talk horses. That's what you said to her on. It was so good.
Oh, yes. Gosh.
You were supposed to pick up on that line. That's my new favorite line on Scandal.
Listen, I like it.
Talk horses.
Oh, BJ, why don't we start there? Why don't we start with the Susan Ross storyline? Because you know what? It is the most random and unexpected storyline of this portion of the season, I have to say. I mean, here we have, and just to back up, just to recap for everyone. So Susan Ross, after being manipulated by David Rosen on behalf of Lizzie Bear DeGeneres, okay, Susan Ross has thrown her hat in the ring and she is running for president. And you know what? We keep watching her be manipulated again by David Rosen. What is he doing to manipulate her? I'll tell you. He's giving her the good, what, LBJ?
That good nectar. He's squeezing it, he's juicing it and juicing it, that nectar.
Yeah, he is. And so when we first saw him and Susan Ross tonight, guess where they were? They were in the bed. David Rosen clearly glowing, okay, smile on his face. He's in the bed and he's telling Susan Ross to get Fitz's endorsement for president. And Susan Ross says, you know what? I don't appreciate the president's values. I don't really want his endorsement. Now, of course, this is not what Lizzie Bear DeGeneres wants, and therefore it's not what David Rosen wants. So throughout the rest of the episode, we were watching David Rosen try to manipulate Susan Ross into going to Fitz to get his endorsement for president. LBJ, what are you thinking right now about this love triangle between David and Susan Ross and Lizzie Bear DeGeneres?
I think that while I was watching, I was like, you know what? This is going to blow up. It's not going to go well. David Rosen's going to end up in the room with the two of them, and he's going to have to just keep his mouth shut and let them fight it out. Lo and behold, it ended up happening later in the episode, and he kind of just sat there and looked at them while he sat in the chair, and they were to his left and right, and they kind of figured the whole thing out. Yeah. I want to say that I think it was pretty epic, though, that Susan Ross went in and she got the nomination from Fitz, which is really what they didn't want to happen for the sake of Melly. So I was like, what is going to happen now that Susan Ross has this nomination from Fitz?
Right. It's so crazy. When I'm watching David Rosen in these situations, I have so many mixed feelings about him. I'm like, David Rosen, number one, stop being so whack that you let Lizzie Bear DeGeneres lead you around with your nose wide open.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's like, you know what? He's finally getting some. David Rosen, let's just look at David Rosen. His life is not one of a player, right?
Not at all.
When Red was sleeping with him, she was really doing him quite a bit of a favor. I think we can all agree. Okay? So here he is getting that true good love from Susan Ross and getting that good screw from Lizzie Bear DeGeneres. You get to the point, LBJ, where you can't hate the player. You can't hate the game either.
No, I'm telling you. I put in my notes, I said, If orange is the new black, then David is the new nectar flavor because he is getting it in. David Ross, from him being in bed with Susan Ross in the episode, to Lizzie Bear DeGeneres coming in, take your pants down. Oh, I thought I was gonna be in trouble. Am I in trouble? Yes, you're in trouble. That's why I'm telling you to take down your pants. Take down your pants. Q pants, drop. I'm just like, oh, David is the new Nectar. That's exactly what's going on. Who'd have thought that David Rosen would be the new Nectar Factor on Scandal? Shout out to you, David Rosen. Kudos.
That's right. Shout out, David Rosen. Get your 15 minutes. And it is 15 minutes. Because you know what? This is bound to blow up directly in what, sir? Your face.
His face. Absolutely.
This is not sustainable. This is not going to continue to go well for you. You better milk it. And I said milk it as long as you possibly can. So keep up the good work, David Rosen. You've manipulated Susan Ross. And in fact, LBJ, they not only manipulated Susan Ross into getting the nomination from Fitz and being okay with it, they also manipulated Susan Ross into undermining, making a segue, the candidate that Cyrus has manipulated into running for the presidency. LBJ, what do you think of this whole storyline tonight? Cyrus, and he's been working. We saw him last episode, just really creeping up on Governor Vargas of Pennsylvania, just himself ready to pounce and make himself a new candidate.
Let me tell you, this is a classic situation of Pinocchio crafting Geppetto. And Cyrus is trying not to have that scene happen when Pinocchio is performing before the people in the pub. He's like, I got no strings to hold me down, and falling down the steps. And it's when you are really cracking up. But seriously, it's one of those situations where Cyrus is trying his best to maintain all that he needs to maintain for the sake of what's good and right for his goals and his dreams in the White House, but not the current administration, but the potential administration of President Vargas, of the potential President Vargas, Francisco Vargas. So he is pulling out all stops. Cyrus has a lot on the line here, because he took out 2 innocent people to get this entire thing in motion. So he's committed to this plan no matter what. Yes. And Cyrus succeeded tonight because his manipulative tactics got Francisco Vargas to say to him at the end of the episode, 1, my daughter has cancer and the prognosis is not good. They've not given her a lot of time to live. She's actually outlived the time that they gave her. And 2, I want a Scotch neat or whatever it was. He said, light on the ice. No, so it wasn't neat. He wanted it on the rocks, but light on the rocks. And he wanted something else. And he wanted Cyrus to become his campaign manager. And that's exactly what Cyrus wanted. I knew from a fact, when Candace and I were watching it here, I was saying to myself, I was like, you know what? Cyrus is lying. Cyrus is lying. And because Cyrus is lying, it's going to come out and he's going to get this guy to run for president. And lo and behold, Cyrus is lying. He got him to run for president. Listen, if you're watching right now and you're watching us on Google Plus, you can leave a comment right there in the Q&A. We would love to hear from you, or send us a tweet using the hashtag Scandal Recap, or write on the YouTube page, because I see a lot of you watching on YouTube. Go ahead and write on the YouTube page and tell us what you think. Janiyah, I think we need to talk about, though, something that potentially was working but could potentially not work, and that was Melly and Olivia. I say that because.
Are you leaving the Cyrus storyline without talking about?
Oh no! Yes, wait.
Please back up.
Braid my hair, come on and braid my hair. Back in the hood. Well, yes. Janiyah, did you go to Cyrus? Did you go to Styles by Cyrus and Boo to get your hair done?
You know I did, LBJ. Nobody does my hair like businessman on the side. What do we call him, LBJ?
We called him B School Ben or B School Brandon, but his name was like Dave or something like that. But B School Bob, but we know that he's B School husband, so I call him B School husband now.
He's the jump off that made his way to nuptials.
Exactly.
And LBJ,
that was classic right there.
Here we see him sitting in the bed, practicing doing his daughter's hair on this black baby doll. Now,
Okay. Wait, and it was the big black Barbie that my little sister had, where you can like practice doing the hair, like you can get a flat iron and flat iron the hair.
That doll's name is Elise.
Right.
Every little black girl from the 80s knows that doll's name is Elise. Okay, that's an Elise doll he was playing with. It was either Elise or Kenya. Do you remember Kenya?
My own Kenya, my very pretty Kenya. My sister had a Kenya doll. Yes.
Feel pretty too. LBJ. Here we have B School Bob jump off husband sitting there with his Kenya make me feel pretty doll doing his cornrow and beating. And do you know what I say to B School Bob? I say keep up the good work, because I see too many people walking around these here streets in New York where they don't know how to do their child's hair. Okay, listen, I think every child deserves a home. Parents, children don't have to necessarily match in my book from an ethnicity perspective. But I will tell you what is important is that you figure out how to do your children's hair. Just try it. You know, we see these dry heads running around here. Get some coconut oil. Go on YouTube. Find out how to cornrow. Hats off to B School Bob. LBJ, don't you see that was Shonda using her platform once again? She could have had B School doing anything. He could have been doing anything, LBJ.
We had to see
him rehearsing.
She did. She had him there rehearsing. I thought that was pretty epic that he was doing it. He said, it was so funny to me the way that Cyrus noticed it, though. He was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he was.
Said, I'm practicing my braids. I'm practicing the milkmaid. I'm practicing the fishtail. I'm practicing the twist. I'm practicing the plait. I'm practicing the this and the that. And it was so good.
I love
Jackie O 2006 is in the Q&A. Hey, Jackie O. Well, Michael cares more about Ella than Cyrus does. He's getting that together. And Jackie O says right back to us, "Hey, peeps, how you doing? We are well. We are very, very well. We're so glad that you're here joining us tonight." Jackie O 2006.
And Jackie O, you got it right. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't ever see Cyrus with that baby. And we don't ever see Michael. So all we can do is assume that he is somewhere parenting that child. And I think that's, we got a little nod to that tonight with him doing the hair. One other little Cyrus beat that I want us to discuss, LBJ.
Go for it.
Just before we leave this storyline, is Cyrus sitting in the sedan. Who's fixing his tie, LBJ, making sure he's ready to go for the day? Who was getting him all tidied up? LBJ.
I think I missed it.
It was the mutant, Tom.
That's right. Yes. Tom is his little robot monster. What is that?
Tom and Cyrus sitting there in the car, and Tom, this man who he's either a mutant, he's a clone. The man will not die. That is what we know. He just walks the earth like a Despicable Me character, looking to serve evil masters. We saw the softer side of him today when he was fixing Cyrus's tie. LBJ, that was priceless. I loved it. Nectar strikes again.
It was very priceless, and I'll tell you, it's priceless because I never thought that Tom and Cyrus would become cool. That is one of the most random connections on Scandal that has ever taken place in the history and the life of this show. But what was not random is the way that Melly continues to really kind for Olivia's work. Olivia's like, "Look, honey boo boo, child, honey boo boo kitty, whatever. Like, I can't do that. I can't work with you. I can give you, I can advise you low key, but I can't give you all that you want, Melly.
Right.
So stop asking me that question." But I find it interesting that Olivia has no reservations being around her on this side, and Melly really has no reservations of her being around her. I think that they've come a long way since they had that come to Jesus conversation a few episodes ago when they both called each other to the carpet and had that moment. So I think that we will continue to see a development between Melly and Olivia as the season progresses and we get closer to the end of Fitz's term, especially since Melly is now on Fitz's tail as it relates to him having jump offs around their youngest child, really their children, and what she said.
Yes, exactly. So LBJ, let's talk about that for a second. Fitz, we were worried about him last couple episodes because we thought he was going to get caught up with Ho McHo Pants the reporter. LBJ, he didn't stop with Home and Coke hands. He's taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. He's taking to the streets, LBJ. He's literally sleeping with every random woman that he wants. And you know who has supporting him down to a science? Red.
Ooh.
Abby Red.
Oh, go there. That was epic. Go straight there. I think I said instead of him sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, he's sleeping with every Thomasina, every chick, and every Mary. Go for it.
LBJ, here's the thing. We were worried about Fitz somehow being manipulated by that woman that he was seeing the last couple episodes. No, LBJ, he is out there working on his numbers. He is making up for lost time. He's saying, "Hey, Olivia, I'm gonna wash you right out of my hair." Okay, he's out there working hard, LBJ, and who's supporting him? Abby Red. She's got the whole team working. They know exactly what to do. When Fitz sees a woman he likes, he gives them the what? The nod. LBJ. That's all it takes. And then they hook it up. They hook it up like a dating service. You know, Tinder ain't got nothing on the Secret Service and Gabby, LBJ. They are. And so we see Olivia as she's talking with Melly. You know, she's talking with Melly and she's saying to Melly, you know what? You don't need Fitz's endorsement, but you need to make sure he does not endorse Sally. She's saying you need to find a way to get him to remain neutral through the primaries. Oh, excuse me. Allergy season.
Oh my gosh, are you okay? That was like I was gonna have to take over. I thought you were like gonna tap out for a second and just take over.
Beware. Once it starts, I will probably start sneezing like crazy right now. So
I got you.
Look for the signal.
Gotcha.
LBJ. So Olivia is saying to Melly, get in there and talk to Fitz. Make sure he remains neutral to the primaries. She creates her moment. She goes in there with their child, LBJ. And who's in there? One of the sluts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
One of the one-night stands. And it just so happens
from the Department of Treasury.
Thank you. Somebody that Melly knows. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing about this particular slut is that she's also a reporter and she's in the know. And she spills the beans, LBJ, to Fitz. She tells Fitz, guess what? Melly and Olivia, they're working together. Olivia is secretly running, Melly's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Fitz, fire in the eyes, LBJ. I mean, what do you think was going through his head in that moment?
I think Fitz ultimately felt betrayed. He probably thought about the house in Vermont, thought about all those ways that he whisked her into the closet in some musky, mildewy, mop-filled smelling closet and went there and took Olivia in the White House, and how they just sauntered off and attempted to, make a new life for themselves, and how that all fell apart right there on that balcony as he laid all those petals down and gave her that antique ring and went through all those. He went so far as to do all of that. He did the meal for her, everything to propose to her, and she turned him down, only to find out tonight that she could potentially be running his ex-wife's campaign for his soon-to-be former job.
Mm-hmm. And LBJ, did you notice anything about those chickies that have been running in and out of there?
Oh yeah, they were all of the same tribe. They all looked the same way. They all came up the same service elevator because of Abby Red. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's just getting his rocks off, through this. But let me tell you one thing. One thing is for sure about Olivia Pope. Olivia Pope's nectar, the essence of her nectar will live on and on and on forever. Why? Because we saw when Olivia and Fitz had the meeting at the end of the episode tonight, when Olivia made a pivot in the work of OPA to go to the president's office to deal with him, to talk to him about the happenings of his Secret Service. She exposed to him that these Secret Service agents killed a woman, and he needed to do something about that. And she checked him for all that he was worth to her in that moment, not as an ex-girlfriend, not as a potential wife, but really as a friend. And she checked him from the standpoint of the generational curse, if you will, that is on his family. And she attempted to fix him. And she pulled like an Iyanla stun on him, because she told him three things. And Jackie O kind of alludes to this as well when she says Fitz is being reckless.
Yes.
And at least Abby got control of the bras and devices. God bless you. But Olivia said to Fitz, she said, you are being reckless, you're being negligent, and you are being selfish. What do you want your son to see? Do you want your son to see what you saw Big Jerry do? Your son's already seeing you have a woman to come out of your bathroom in your bedroom. Do you want the same thing for your son? And Olivia did that. It was like, Olivia fixed my life. Who would have thought that the person who needs the fixing in their personal affairs is going to end up fixing someone else that's so close to them in their personal affairs? I think that.
Yeah, I was just going to co-sign LBJ about her fixing his life. You know, Fitz tried to posture in that interaction and act like he said something along the lines of, you don't need to tell me what to do, Olivia. That's not your job anymore. But guess what? He did need her to tell him what to do. Didn't he, LBJ? I mean, at the end of the day.
He did. Wait, but he said it like this tonight. He was like, wait, act like you're Olivia trying to tell me Fitz what to do.
Okay, listen. If you want to be the man that you want, that you have always said you wanted to be, you need to think about that.
Don't tell me what to do. You can't do that anymore.
That was so good.
That was his exact line, and he said it in that same tempo. Don't tell me what to do. You can't do that anymore.
You sound like somebody just insulted Santa Claus. Was somebody bossing Santa Claus around? So here we have Olivia still able to pull the strings. Once she does the Iyanla and fixes his life, he gets himself back on track. He tries once again to be a virtuous person, and he leaves those hoes on the side of the street where they belong. And she said something, LBJ, that I thought was profound. She said the fish rots from the head. Okay?
Go for that, yeah.
Saying to him was, listen, you right now being a person who has really questionable values is starting to show in your team. What was she talking about, LBJ? The case. Tonight's case. And it was the case that OPA and Associates was working on. Who called them to the scene? Well, it was Abby. Abby had been told by one of her Secret Service persons, this new one, LBJ, his name is Sam. Where did he come from? So Sam, new Secret Service guy in the White House, goes to Gabby Abby Red, and he says, Gabby Abby Red, you know, there was a party with the Secret Service agents. They were hanging out. Something went wrong. Gabby Abby Red does what she always does. She called Olivia immediately and said, we need your help. So Olivia and OPA and Associates go traipsing over there to find out what happened at this party. Turns out, LBJ, that the Secret Service had been partying so hard with some hookers, and one of them ended up dead. Because the White House was the client, they just cleaned it up. They weren't going to investigate it. They were just cleaning up. They wiped down the DNA. They cleaned up the whole scene to make it look like it was just a hooker gone awry. And they got out of there. LBJ, case closed. They cleaned it up for their client. Except for who? Marcus.
Marcus the Walker.
Marcus the Walker, LBJ. What did you think of your boy tonight?
Oh, it was great. It was great because remember, I've been predicting all along. I'm saying Marcus is going to come through and either go dark or try to be that glimmer of hope, that glimmer of light in OPA and Associates. And what does he do? He's like, gut check. Something's not right. Thinking about it, something's not right. Looking at the forensics of it all, something's not right. Oh, guess what? I have the proof. The autopsy. Autopsy says, dun, 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 she was murdered. We've got to do a better investigation. Olivia and Quinn are like, we're done. We don't do this. We honor the client's request. Once that request is honored, it is finished. Whatever happens after that, our job, our fix is now over. Marcus can't shake that. He can't get it off of him. So what does he do? He goes to Olivia, and here comes Quinn running behind him. Like, I tried to tell him we don't do this. I tried to tell him we don't do that. Like, she's going over the whole OPA policy and procedures handbook. Yeah. And I'm talking about every jot and tittle. She's going over it. And she's like, Olivia is sitting there thinking like, okay, all right. Because remember, on a sidebar, Olivia's lightweight, clouded and distracted because she's got this whole Jake and the Fat Man thing going on over here on the other side, right? So she says she begins to think about that, and then It's not until Olivia is in the conversation and someone else mentions the happenings of the Secret Service and security of the president slash NSA, she begins to connect the dots. Hence her going into the White House and talking to Gabby Abbey Red, like, look, we've got to call the president in on this to figure something out. She's Olivia says to her, you know, we thought we fixed this. Well, no, Olivia says to Gabby Abbey Red, she says, these guys murdered a woman. Gabby Abbey Red was like, but wait, we dealt with murderers all the time when I was at OPA. That's how it's done. Like, once it's done, no matter what they did, no matter how it went down. And Olivia said, no, but you hired me. And she played that card. I don't want to call it the T card because of what's going on politically. I don't want that to be tracked on our YouTube video and get a hit.
Call it Uno, LBJ, that wild card.
You want to play that draw 4 card in Uno. You know, that draw 4 has power in Uno, especially if somebody has Uno and you're going to come, you holding your cards in your hand like, and then you like, so you go Uno and you like, draw 4, the color is red, Uno out. It was like that.
Everybody's like, oh!
Yep. Olivia came in with that Uno draw 4 and was like, look, Gabby Abbey Red, you hired me to do this job. I'm going to do this job. And this is what needs to happen. That's how she got the meeting with Fitz. But what I found interesting in tonight's episode, speaking of Gabby Abbey Red and Olivia Janaya, we've been seeing the development of this sisterhood, like go in the best direction possible for Olivia. And Gabby is becoming a springboard, a sounding board for Olivia. And I really do appreciate their relationship this season. So much so that you notice Olivia is revealing what's going on in OPA to a former gladiator. She's not done that before. Remember, before she was very staunch, like, no, you don't work anymore. I can't tell you. You don't need to know what's going on. But now she's like, yeah, the Secret Service guys, we got some guys that killed a girl. Some girl was dead. And she's like in the car, like, oh, really? What happened? And she's telling her what's going on. Things are changing for Olivia.
That's so true, LBJ. This dynamic is really shifting. And, you know, it's so crazy to watch Olivia's version of mending fences. You know, she's in this really good space right now with Gabby Abbey Red. I mean, they're almost girlfriends again like they were before everything happened. You know, and I also look at her and Melly. You know, she's really in a rhythm of life with Melly right now. You know, so it's going to be interesting to watch these relationships continue to evolve. You know, the one Olivia relationship that I think has leaving us questioning a little bit is Olivia and Jake. Okay, she may have made some peace with Gabby Abbey Red and Melly, but Olivia and Jake, OMG, it is juicy right now. Okay, let's
juicy. I'm talking about. Let me tell you. You go for it. I have a little something I'm going to add to that. You go ahead and go for it.
LBJ, let's just back up as we always do and just provide that context. LBJ, we have watched Olivia and Jake just be in some kind of strange trance with each other, where we know Jake is up to no good. He, under the influence of command himself, has made his way by murdering someone to become head of the NSA, all right? He's head of the NSA, and he's now dating someone, let's just call her Susie Q, because really that's all she is. He's dating someone, Susie Q. Now, LBJ, the more we learned about this girlfriend that Jake is dating, the more I wonder if my original prediction was right, that he's planning to run for president, but we'll see. So here he is dating Miss Susie Q, and Olivia has become obsessed with it. She's no longer wanting a physical relationship with him. She's wanting to investigate him. She's wanting to follow him. She's wondering, what is Jake up to? What is her father up to? And so we watch her becoming almost obsessed with this. I mean, she's not sending her people out. She's doing it. She's literally sitting on the side of the road, sitting by the dock of the bay, wasting time, okay, watching Jake sitting and having dates with his girlfriend. All right, LBJ, we watch.
I feel like I saw you and him walking in the rain. That's what it is.
In the rain, LBJ. She is like stalking him. And he comes in the night to confront her. Oh, he didn't come at 7 p.m. around dinner time. He didn't come at 9 p.m. around scandal time. He came in the middle of the night, creeping into her home, looming over her bed to confront her, LBJ. And she says to him, if you don't tell me what you're doing here, I'm going to call the police. And he said, oh, you know what I'm doing here. And then he did it, LBJ. He did what all men do, you included, I'm sure. You guys try to pull out these trickeries, okay, to distract us. All right? We're focused. We've got things to say. We've got opinions that need to be shared. And here you come, creeping over hither and thither, okay, using all these little trickeries, okay, to try to distract us. And that's
Let me
exactly
tell you,
what they did.
Twitter is not calling it trickeries. They're calling it spirit fingers. Someone tweeted Scott Foley and Kerry Washington and said, Jake, you cannot go and give someone else, you cannot be in a relationship and go and give another woman spirit fingers. You just can't do that. SMH. That was the funniest tweet all night long.
Oh my gosh. LBJ, did people know the phrase spirit fingers before Bring It On, the movie?
I don't think so. I think Bring It On created spirit fingers.
They literally introduced that out there, and it is just such a common phrase now.
Yeah, absolutely.
LBJ, Jake is with his spirit fingers, okay, and he's in there trying to distract her, and it almost worked. Almost worked. But Olivia got her wits about her, and she said, "You better stop it, sir." And she stopped.
Wait. What did she say? What did she say, Janaya?
Stop it, sir. And she got her bearings together, and she said to him, "Listen, I know you're up to something. What are you up to?" Jake said something in a way like he's never said it before. He said, "Goodbye, Olivia." Now, we have seen Jake say goodbye to Olivia many times, but every single time it just felt like it wasn't really over. There was something final in that goodbye, LBJ.
Absolutely. And she felt that. She felt that goodbye. She felt that goodbye, Olivia. And here's the thing, Stephanie Beard. Wait, first of all, Stephanie Beard is in the Q&A. Hey, Stephanie Beard. She says, one night Jake is unerringly finding the right spot, and the next Sunday dinner he's engaged to Susie Q. Really? She's not feeling it. But Jake, let me tell you, Jake played that scene. Scott Foley played that scene.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. Unerringly. He went in there with a vision that only experience can provide. Okay? Yep. That's all I have to say about it.
Exactly. And Olivia Pope, Kerry Washington played that scene very well too.
Yes, she did.
She liked the spirit fingers. I said, he's about to. Oh, I was like, okay.
Oh, it was good.
So then, what I liked about that scene is the way that he owned it, right? So he's sitting there, he's looking at her, and she's like, she can't keep still. She's doing that on Twitter.
The quiver.
I said, Nectar, Olivia, quiver, stop, and that was like the order of the order and the flow of everything that went down tonight in that scene. Janaya, Nectar, Olivia, quiver, stop. She was quivering like never before. We've never seen her quiver like that in a scene with Jake, with Russell, the other lady that she was with Fitz. We've not seen her quiver like that ever on the show. And tonight, she put up a quiver performance like no other. I said Jake went up to the nectar tree and tapped it for its sap tonight. And he said to her, you know what to do. You tell me when to stop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know why I'm here? I'm here for that right there. That face that you're making, yeah, that's why I'm here. He likes that quiver, and that's what made her quiver even more. She was like her face went crazy.
Women all across the world were quivering along with Olivia during that moment. And see, but that's why we all got confused for a second. Just for a second. We were like, hey, wait. He's the enemy. Just for a minute, we were happy that he was over. But then we figured it out. We remember what you were up to, Jake, and we do not approve. You stop.
Yeah.
Stop right now. Get thee out of here, sir. And she kicked him out.
And get me out of here and thine fingers out of here.
Get thy fingers out and get thy out of here. So he said goodbye, Olivia, and he left. The next time we see Jake, he's over at Olivia's dad's house yet again, sitting up in there. Okay. And she goes to the house for Sunday dinner. And Eli Pope says, "Oh, daughter, it's so unexpected that you're here. You haven't been coming for dinner." And she said, "Well, I'm here now." She walks in on what? An engagement party. Who's engaged?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. It is Susie Q and Jake. LBJ, the question remains, what are they up to? Yolanda Baker put it in the chat. Olivia did not believe Jake and his announcement any more than I do, because Papa Pope was all in the middle. Wasn't he worried about Jake getting too personal a while back? I'm adding scratch my chin. Thank you, Yolanda.
You are. That's like the scratching chin emoji you just did. That was actually a great. Yeah, you got emoji face, scratching chin. So here's the thing. Papa Pope has crafted this entire plan to bring his daughter to her knees. He needs Olivia to flip and turn and come to a different side. And what's going on in OPA is not really it's kind of helping the situation, right? We've seen already they kind of make a pivot in the work that they do, with Marcus stepping up to take the helm, the lead, and helping them figure out that something else was to be discovered in this story. There was another opportunity there. Additionally, we also noticed, Janiyah, you conveniently skipped this, but we noticed that while they were in the apartment going through, when they saw Megan dead on the floor, dead to the world, we saw them. You already know what I'm about to say, because I feel like you intentionally skipped this, Janiyah. And you did. But what had happened was they said, "Well, what are we going to do? And what are we going to do?" And Olivia is sitting around over there because she's all clouded and thinking about Jake and Vanessa, Susie Q, Vanessa. And she's like, she looks over at Quinn and she goes, that's all she said to her. She said, and what does Quinn do? Well, we're going to do this, that, the other. And Quinn becomes the master fixer in the situation. We've never seen that done in Olivia's presence before, Janiyah. Things are changing for Olivia Pope, and it's not for the good. Her very fabric and her nature is changing right now.
LBJ,
the hell in the high water are kicking in like a full-on flood.
LBJ, you're 100% correct. Olivia is really, we've watched her make poor life decisions in her romantic life, and she's finally starting to mess up at work by putting Quinn in charge. Nobody wants Quinn in charge, okay? Don't be nodding to Quinn like she's the reliable, skilled person. You put Huck in charge, Olivia. Huck. Nobody wants to talk to Quinn. Oh, Candace, how dare you? Candace Brown in the chat. Quinn was amazing tonight. She is Olivia's second in command. Oh,
yeah, yes.
Supportive of that? Okay, don't give in to this shenanigans. LBJ, everyone was excited to see Olivia nod to Quinn, but it really was. Who's there?
Hello. Hi. We're here to get you to sign the petition to join the Quinn Supporters of America for Scandal. Would you like to join us?
Oh my God. First of all, LBJ, you just won the award for worst use of a sound effect in the Google chat in 2016. Okay?
So listen, I was trying to do the applause for Candace for being on Team Quinn, but I pushed the doorbell by accident, so I had to try to come up with something because you said who's there, but then the applause were going on at the same time. It all messed up.
You ruined the momentum of whatever it was you were trying to do. Not great.
I did.
That's all right. You have a few minutes to redeem yourself in tonight's episode.
That's fine.
Okay. So Olivia's emotionally and mentally checking out. Okay, she's confused right now. Spirit fingers. Giving her nectar brain. Okay, she's all We have so many questions right now. Let's go over what the questions are, LBJ. Olivia wants to know, what is Jake up to? What is Command up to? Fitz wants to know, how can I live in these streets without touching any of these women? He's going to have to find himself a girlfriend. Okay.
Yep.
Melly wants to know, how do I become president with Fitz endorsing someone else? David wants to know, how long can I keep stringing along these two women? Because this
Yes.
will never, ever happen to me ever again in my life. I really don't have the actual skill set to accomplish this. LBJ, everybody is confused. Everybody's raising questions. The only person who has their question answered tonight was Cyrus. And that was, can I get this man to run? And the answer was yes.
You got it. You got it. And he got the. I love that recap that you just gave. I feel like if someone just tuned in and clicked right now, they'd be good with the Scandal recap for the rest of the night until next Thursday, until we come back. But I want to also say that I think that Olivia pointed something out tonight that we should pay attention to with Jake, and it really affirmed what she's believing and what I've been believing, and that's that her father is crafting this entire plan.
Yes.
And just as sure as he's just all supportive, oh, daughter, oh, Olivia, please come in. You never like Sunday dinners at the house. You will always want to go out, darling. Please just come in. And he finds Vanessa and Jake there. Oh, what do you guys here? What do you do? Oh, we're celebrating. What's going on? What are you celebrating? We're getting married. Olivia takes a little sip and everything. She's like, slight quiver because she's still thinking about that tawdry night that she had with Spirit Finger Man, and
it'll stay with
when
you. It can last 3 to 5 days.
What'd you say?
I said that it stays with you. It can last 3 to 5 days.
So while she was still thinking about that, though, if you go back to before it all went down in her bedroom, Janiyah, she says to her, she said, what are you and my dad up to? He completely ignores her, to me, confirming that the two of them are up to something.
Yeah.
That's the confirmation we need there. If you go back and watch it, he completely ignores her when she says that.
He completely ignores her. And don't you forget, Abby earlier in the episode was saying to Olivia, girlfriend, you're obsessed with him. He's just dating. Stop stalking Jake. And Olivia says, listen, Jake killed a man to become head of the NSA, and now he just happens to be dating this woman. He's up to something. Everybody is trying to throw her off the scent. You know, Jake just not wanting to say anything yay or nay. Listen, they're up to something.
Absolutely. They're up to something, and Shonda Rhimes is up to something because it's going to get gooder and gooder and gooder. And those aren't even words, but I just made that up because that's how I feel about the end of tonight's episode. You have to feel like that. Janiyah, do you have any takeaways or predictions tonight?
Well, you know what? I have to just repeat my prior prediction, LBJ, which is that I feel like Jake is going to run for president. I don't know why I keep feeling that, but there's just something about, that scene of him standing to the left-hand side of Fitz becoming the president of the NSA. I just feel like they're up to something, LBJ, and I can't help but notice the new Secret Service person in the White House, Sam. Mm-hmm. He was just plain and ignorable enough that he reminded me of Tom. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see. Do you?
That's good. That's good. I do. My prediction is that we are going to see the rise of Marcus even more, and we're going to see a power struggle between Quinn and Marcus. Tonight, after all was said and done, in OPA, Huck whispered behind Marcus, "Good work." He said that. He said that. You know what? Oh, sidebar. You know what Huck also said tonight? He said Olivia's following Jake. Olivia's following Jake, and she's just not right. She's just not thinking right now. She's like, why? And she's like, and he said, and Jake is being shady. Huck said Jake was being shady. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was so funny that they had one of those colloquialisms mentioned, or those lexicon mentions in the show tonight. He's being shady. That was good. But Huck tonight told Marcus, "Good work." That was almost a change for him, right? Because just 2 weeks ago, he was just like, no, or 3 weeks ago, no, don't befriend him. He's not one of us. So we cannot befriend him. We don't need to do that. Let him do what he wants to do. Think he knows what he's got going on, and he really doesn't. We know what's going on. And tonight he came and pretty much said, "Look, I can do this if you trust me. Just trust me."
LBJ, I have to tell you, I was happy that Marcus redeemed himself by the end of the episode, because in the beginning, I have to say it. And Marcus, honey, I love you. You'll always be my number one. You'll always be my number one. But LBJ, when he was in that hallway talking so loudly, asking all those questions, I wanted someone, even Quinn, to slap him. The thing was, Marcus, be quiet. And I said to myself, Janiyah, you're going to have to talk to him about this when he gets home tonight. Because Marcus, be quiet in the hallway. He just can't go with the flow. I mean, it's one thing to be an agent of change, but you have got to go with the flow when you need to go with the flow. So he frankly was getting on my nerves at the beginning of the episode. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
My other prediction is, and I'm sorry that your boo thing was getting on your nerves at the beginning of the episode. But my final prediction is that I believe something's going to go wrong between Cyrus and Francisco Vargas. He's a bit smitten by Cyrus right now because Cyrus is working he's sprinkling all his magic dust over the situation. But I do think that something will develop, and he's going to find out the true Cyrus Beene and figure things out. And it might be Sally Langston who reveals that to him when she says, "Oh, little Cyrus Beene," and she tells him who little Cyrus Beene really is, and he tips out. And he's the kind of guy that will get special ops on him, get black ops on him, and take him down like he took that other guy down at that federal building. Those are my two predictions. Not a takeaway or anything tonight. I think tonight was just a good filler for a story and to prepare us for something epic that's going to happen in like the next 3 episodes.
Completely agree, LBJ. And the takeaways from the show, they were so, front of envelope. Olivia saying it rots from the head. Melly standing in front of Fitz and making him see himself for what he is. Cyrus sitting there blatantly lying to meet his needs. Making up family members, making up tragedies to manipulate. It's the stories that these characters were telling about morals and about virtue and lack thereof. It was so clear tonight, LBJ. We don't even need to break it down any further.
I agree. There are a few comments in the round robin. You want to go for it?
I love round robin.
All right, here we go. Jackie O is at the tippy top. Janiyah, stop it. I am on the floor with the get thee out of here. Get thee out of here and get thine fingers out of here.
And Stephanie Pierce says spirit fingers. I guess because when he uses them, Olivia gets happy and speaks in tongues. What had to be said? I'm telling you, 3 to 5.
That is hilarious, Stephanie. You're like, we should totally screenshot that and bring that back for later. That's a good one. I think we like for the season finale episode, we definitely need to bring that comment back into play. That's good. Stephanie Beard also says Huck and Marcus, start of a bromance, potential start of a romance. I never thought that, but that could potentially happen, Stephanie.
And that really could be a power dynamic shift. What if Quinn becomes the odd man out and finally they get rid of her? But anyway,
whatever happens, Jackie O says Quinn can't handle it. Quinn can't handle it. That's what her comment says. Right on time, Jackie O. Thank you.
Jackie O, I just want our friendship to be strong. That's all. And I just feel like these little teeny betrayals are going to erode that. That's the only thing. I just want us to be on the same page. But she asked me a question when she said, what is going on with Tom and Cyrus? He's become a toy boy psycho. It's so good. It is crazy. Tom, first of all, I keep wondering, why aren't you dead? First of all. Second of all, you're in here now fixing Cyrus's tie. It is just too much.
It is too much. And you know what also is going to be too much? When Fitz reads Melly's book and sees that Olivia had nothing really to do with it and be like, oh, I'm sorry. And that might be the reboot of Olivia and Fitz version 3.0.
Oh, God. LBJ, do you really think not over. Do you think they're going to do another go around to that?
They have to. Yeah, they've got to have
Show
one
was
moment
renewed
again.
for another season, you know.
I know. So we might have a Scandal jam session of "Give Me One Moment in Time."
Oh
Speaking of
God.
Scandal jam session, two songs mentioned tonight, and the two songs used tonight for the Scandal jam session. The first one was Bill Withers' "Use Me." The second was George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic, and it was, oh my gosh, it was oh my gosh, what was the song? It was oh, We Want the Funk. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. That was the second song for the jam session. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys tonight. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out as well. Did you, Janiyah?
LBJ, I had such a good time. So good to see everybody in the chat. Stephanie and Jackie O and Candace and Yolanda. So much fun.
It was, as always. We love you. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week, and I promise to post the invite to the hangout a little bit earlier if you missed it tonight for live. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.